Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back in to another edition of Astros Recap. It is Sunday night, of course, August 15th, 8:16 p.m. So a little earlier than usual. Got things. I got to get to bed earlier tonight, so that's sort of why I'm on a little bit earlier tonight. But yes, good week for the Astros. Sort of bounced back, 4-1. The 5 games they played, obviously. Not only 5 games this week, had off days on both Monday and Thursday, so finishing off the homestand Tuesday and Wednesday against the Rockies, beating them both times, pretty easy there. And then going out on the road to face the Angels, just hoping to win 2 of 3, or that's sort of the goal, so they were able to do that. Actually, a little unfortunate because they had a chance to sweep them today, not able to complete the sweep. The Astros, I feel like, been one of their issues this year, winning first few games in a series with the chance to sweep, and they just can't really finish it off. They've had trouble, I feel like, finishing off teams this year. So, but put things in perspective, I'm very satisfied with bouncing back. Obviously, the losing 3 or 4 to the Twins, after coming back off your 500 road trip where you went like 7-7 or wwhatever it was. I'm not sure exactly. See, they won 2 of 3 in Seattle. They lost 3 of 3. This is what, was it 4-4 road trip? Yeah, 4-4. I was way off. But yeah, playing Seattle, for 3, the Giants for 3, the Dodgers for 2. Hoping to sort of go maybe 6-4, something like that. But instead, 5-5 sounds right? Or 4-4. I'm all over the place. 4-4 road trip. I'm gonna go 5-3. I want to say, 5-3 was the goal in that road trip. They went 4-4. You go play 500 ball on the road. It's usually you'll take it. Astros this year, obviously, I can't tell you the exact home road splits. I do feel like they play better on the road. Like the offense, I feel like wakes up on the road. Like I don't know. I just feel like, and it's been like this has been a recurring theme for the Astros. If you go back to 17, 18, 19, I think all 3 of those years, they were a better road team than they were at home. So last year, again, it's a throwaway year. I can't give you the home and road splits there, but I can almost guarantee you 17, 18, and 19, their record was much better on the road than at home. Now, they're not a bad home team, but they on the road, I don't know what it is. It's just I thought I saw a stat. I was watching MLB Network a few days ago, and they had the home and road splits. And I think that I couldn't really see. I had my glasses on, so I couldn't really see the TV and the numbers there. But I thought I saw a better home record than on the road. I could have been wrong, but the Astros, I just feel like play better when the offense hits better. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing, but they just play better on the road. I think if you get to the playoffs, obviously you want home field advantage. I think that's important in any series. But as far as the regular season and what we've seen the last 4 or 5 years now, the Astros have been a better road team than they have been at home. There's that. Astros obviously continue the road trip. Tomorrow they'll be in Kansas City for 4 before coming home, I believe. I need to look at the schedule here, but I think they're only home for maybe 3 games after that for the weekend. I need to double check here things. So I didn't actually get on prepared today. I have to go through all of this again to actually see. But 4 in Kansas City, and they come home to play Seattle for 3, Kansas City again for 3, off day Thursday, and then they're in Arlington to play the Rangers for 3. Arlington, Texas, All right. So, obviously 4 with Kansas City, another team you really should at least take 3 or 4 from, I would say. Seattle coming home, hope to take 2 or 3 there. So, full game week this coming week. But, I talked about, last week, obviously, I don't want to get too far ahead here. But, starters, the hitters, things weren't going very well. I mean, the starters were definitely not as good as they were. They were giving up runs, and we were having to play catch-up. And the offense, obviously, with the injuries, Gurriel being on the IL, and still missing Bregman, and just all this stuff going on. the bullpen got better, obviously, at the deadline, but, other things didn't, as I had to move the computer there. Sorry about that. But, yeah, so the games against Colorado, pretty easy-going games, obviously. Odorizzi, I believe, started Tuesday, and he needed to bounce back after his horrendous start he had in Los Angeles back on Wednesday. So he actually was scoreless. Did a very good job. Only 5 innings, so only threw, let's see, what did he throw? 81 pitches, so he didn't go deep, but he got through 5. He had 3 hits, walked 2, struck out 3. Javier came in, got in 2 innings. He's continuing to walk guys. Didn't allow any runs, but 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, a base hit, but 2 innings of scoreless ball. Blake Taylor got 2 outs in the 8th there. Yimi Garcia got the final out there. And then Pedro Baez gets his first shot here. So Rafael Montero, a guy we talked about, did go on the IL, in fact, so Baez got brought up for that. I don't know where they I really don't know what they have planned for Pedro Baez. If Montero's healthy, I'd imagine he's back on the roster. He hasn't done anything to prove that he shouldn't be on the roster, so small sample size, of course. But I don't know what their plans are for Baez and how they're going to sort of maneuver this bullpen going forward. But Baez might be stuck in AAA. I mean, obviously I don't like our lefties. I don't like Blake Taylor or Brooks Raley, but the Astros just keep them in the bullpen because they're lefties. It's that simple. But yeah, Baez pitched the 9th inning. Gave up a hit, struck out a guy, and nothing else there. So, but yeah, scored 5 runs there, so that was nice to do. Really go through the runs here. I mean, it's always hard to find. I mean, it shut him out 5-0. So there's that. And here's a quick recap of the runs. So Chas McCormick RBI single, Taylor Jones 2-run double, Michael Brantley RBI double, and Jose Altuve RBI single. So there's a quick rundown of all 5 runs there. Very easy, low stress 5-0 victory. Do the same thing basically Wednesday afternoon as they win this 5-1 this game. So as I look here, Framber Valdez goes out there. Again, I don't think he was particularly great. Did go 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run, but again, 4 walks. So if you remember Framber's previous start against the Twins, he actually didn't walk anybody, but he had a 4-run second inning he gave up. So I don't know. Framber's just not, I don't know. He came out after the injury, coming back in June, obviously fracturing the finger or whatever it was, first start spring training, and he was phenomenal his first 5-6 starts, and now he just can't seem to figure out a way to go deep and, just cut back the walks. Struck out 8 guys, so strikeout numbers are still good, but he's just walking too many people, but did get the win, got through 6 innings, through, let's see here, 100 pitches on the dot there for Framber, 8-3 on the year. Stanek got a scoreless inning in there. Allowed a hit, struck out a guy. Graveman, scoreless inning. Presley actually came in even though it was a 4-run lead, so no save for Presley, but he gave up a walk but struck out 2 guys. Got the ERA back under 2 at 1.91. Obviously Graveman at .70. That's just sick right there. That's .70 ERA. Stanek 3.65, so he's been working himself down. I think Stanek's actually done pretty well his last handful of starts. He's a lot of pressure. I feel like it's taken off of Stanek. He's not pitching in the 7th. Well, you'll see him in the 7th, but sometimes in the 6th. I mean, they got options in the back end. So Stanek's actually looked better of late, I'd say. So that's some good news there. But yeah, well, winning both, sweeping that mini 2-game series before hitting the road, feel better about things. So obviously winning games 1 and 2. Obviously on Friday the only offense was Kyle Tucker's grand slam. Zach Greinke was great, 7 scoreless innings, and then I think Graveman gave up his first run since being traded over. But that was it. So Presley got the save here. I gotta pull this back up. 4-1 was the final. So yeah, one swing of the bat, which was Kyle Tucker's grand slam there. And then pitching line, yeah, Greinke 7 scoreless, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Graveman got through the inning, gave up 2 hits and earned a run, struck out a guy. ERA raises to .92. And then Presley gets his 19th save, and he was perfect in his inning, striking out a batter. But yeah, just one big swing, which was Kyle Tucker's grand slam, and then the pitching was great. So you get the win there. Obviously, the story, on Saturday was Jake Myers. Obviously, Jake Myers being called up after the Miles Straw trade had 2 big home runs, his first and second career home runs. Obviously, the big grand slam, which really opened things up, 8-2 there. So Luis Garcia pitched this game. Again, they've been using him cautiously because they don't want him to. I talked about this last week as well. Just let Luis Garcia go. Skip him a few times the rotation if you feel like you need to do that. But I wouldn't go out there. I mean, the pitch count they're setting for him for every start now is like 80 pitches. So, I mean, he gets the win. I mean, he goes 5 innings. He had a rough first inning, giving up 2 runs. But after that, settled down, walked 3 guys, struck out 5. But Brooks Raley came in. The game. They were up 6 runs, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, he actually had a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. One thing I noticed, and something I saw from Brooks Raley, which was different, is he actually pitched out of the windup. I feel like most of your relievers actually pitch from the stretch, but I thought that was different. So I could be wrong there. Maybe if you know more than me, you could let me know, but. One thing I did notice from Brooks Raley there is he was pitching out of the windup rather than just coming in pitching from the stretch, which all pitchers do, of course, when runners are on base. But a lot of relievers will just automatically pitch from the stretch because they usually just don't have a windup or they just refuse to use it. So yeah, that was one thing I noticed out of Brooks Raley, but it worked. 1-2-3, 2 strikeouts. Blake Taylor comes in, scoreless inning, gives up a hit, strikes out a guy. Phil Maton needed some work. He got back in there. He hasn't been great. I mean, he gave up a hit, walked a guy, struck out a guy, but I don't think Maton's going to be a big part of this bullpen going forward. And Yimi Garcia closed the game out, giving up a hit but striking out a guy. Garcia's ERA at 3.27, which is pretty solid. Blake Taylor 3.34, which, See, Taylor doesn't give up a lot of runs, but he always puts a lot of runners on base. I'll say that about Blake Taylor. But yeah, Luis Garcia. Let's see here. How many pitches did Garcia throw here? 87 pitches, I think. So that's actually a little more than I thought. But they're not going to extend him at all. So he is your 5th starter. So I guess you can do that a little bit. But yeah, if I'm working with. He'll be a guy that definitely moves to the bullpen come playoff time because he'll just be at too many innings. He's been the one guy that stayed healthy all year, basically. Well, most of the guys have. McCullers was on the IL for a little bit there, of course. Urquidy's been on the IL for a while now. But Greinke's been here all along. Fromber obviously taking 2 months off. So, but yeah, Garcia's been here all year. I mean, wasn't going to be in every. We weren't looking at him going into the season as being in every. A starter every time out, but it's been that way. I mean, he was so good early on that they really couldn't take him out. They couldn't afford to do that. He earned the right to stay in the rotation, but now his innings continue to creep up and up and up. This is a guy who's never pitched past single-A baseball before last year. So obviously, pitched a full workload of innings. So they're being very cautious with Luis Garcia. So yeah, and then obviously, today they lose. Accessing blame, the offense just didn't really show up. They lose it 3-1. So, Brantley hit a solo home run, which was the only offense they had. And then McCullers goes out there. He wasn't great. McCullers on the road. Obviously, we like that this year, right? But he struggled early on. I feel like early innings. He ended up throwing 108 pitches and didn't get through 6. So not very economical, but. He got the loss. I mean, he gave up 200 runs, walked a guy, struck out 8, 9-4. He falls 2 on the year. But usually if you can give up 2 runs and get through almost 6, you'd usually expect the offense to back you up. So that's really what was the disappointing part today. Stanek finished out that 6th inning, and then Javier went the final 2. Javier gave up a home run to Phil Gosselin to give the Angels a run of insurance, but couldn't really muster. We got close in the 9th off. What's that guy's name? Got the save. It's Iglesias. Rossell or Iglesias? Yeah. A guy who was sort of on the trade market. The Astros might have been interested in this guy. But, Castro had a double. And we had runners on second and third with 2 outs, but couldn't come through. Altuve struck out to end the game. So, obviously not a great end of the week. But, again, I try to keep things in perspective. I'll take a 4-1 week, obviously. Astros at 70-47, I believe, is their record. So 23 games over 500. Still say the goal's 97 wins for the team. At least that's what I'm hoping for, I guess, in a way. Of course, I'd hope they could do better, but yeah. So Oakland had won like 6 or 7 in a row, and they got to a game and a half back of us. It's at 2.5 now as they lost 1. Well, they lost 2 or 3 over the weekend to Texas, which they didn't have a really good weekend. But look at the rest of the way. Obviously, the gap. Seattle's 8 back. They're in 3rd place, and then LA and Texas, they're way out of it. So Seattle's got a chance definitely in the wild card race, along with Toronto, along with New York, as they're chasing down Boston, who has a second. Boston actually played well over the weekend as they swept their series. So they're actually, let's see here. They're tied with Oakland. Oakland has a .001 lead in the winning percentage, I guess. At .576, Boston at .575. But they're tied. And then New York's 2.5 back, Toronto's 4.5, Seattle's 5.5. So trying to look, where's New York, Toronto, Seattle. But the Yankees, they're in a decent spot to chase down one of those 2 teams. But Boston, who had really slipped of lately, at least they got 3 wins sweeping over the weekend. So let's see who they swept here if I can find this quickly. The Orioles. It's hard not to sweep them, so I don't know if that tells you a whole lot, but yeah. So obviously the White Sox, the Astros have a decent lead over the White Sox as they've sort of fallen a little bit. Well, 5-5, but 68-50. So the Astros have a 2.5 game lead over the White Sox, and Tampa Bay leads all of American League by a half game over the Astros. They have 1 more win than the Astros, so obviously the goal is to have the best record in the American League. So keep going forward. That's certainly the goal. So good week. Astros bounce back. Hopefully they can, wash away what happened today and get back to their winning ways tomorrow in Kansas City. So that'll start a 4-game set there. You'll have Odorizzi going. And then it should be Fromber after Odorizzi. Then Greinke, then Garcia. That should be your 4 pitchers there. They've kept that rotation. So the way they set the rotation, it's actually held serve all the way since the All-Star break. So, I'm trying to think if I've really forgotten a lot. One thing I forgot to mention. So Kyle Tucker went on the IL he's got COVID or, the health and safety protocol type thing that a lot of players go on. So he should be back at some point, I'm guessing, in the series. Bregman's still not back, so I just remember ending last week's podcast saying Bregman should be back in the lineup. And I even said that during my tours at the ballpark, and he's still not going to be back until maybe this weekend, but I have no idea. I'm just not even going to try to guess when Bregman's going to be back. We'll just say hopefully in September. I guess we'll just say hopefully by September 1st, but I have no idea. They're just being so cautious, which I don't really blame them for. I understand that, you want Bregman to be 100% before he comes back, but I'm not even going to try to guess with Bregman. I've heard so many different people say so many different things and I'm just done guessing. So when he comes back, and we'll go from there. But yeah, Tucker's out, so Gurriel's back. That was the corresponding move. So Gurriel's back. That was a quick IL stint. With the stiff neck, yeah, that doesn't seem like something too serious. So he's back. But yeah, they're going with Chas McCormick in center and Blake Myers in right for now until Tucker gets back. And was it Jake Wilson? He's I think the one guy on the roster that gets sent down when Tucker comes back. So there's that. But yeah, all in all, happy about things. Can't be too upset. Obviously, it would have been nice to finish off the sweep, have the perfect week, but they did win the series, and that was the goal going in. So, but yeah, I don't much to add. Only 20 minutes. It was a short week, 5 games. But yeah, hopefully the starters can a little better this time around the rotation. Hopefully we can continue that. But the hitters, are going to have off days. Today was one of those days. But hopefully, yeah, we bounce back tomorrow and we start, continuing to take care of business. The schedule in August was very favorable. They've already missed opportunities against people like the Twins. Yeah, Kansas City, Seattle, Kansas City again, Texas, and Seattle before the month of September starts. You really should, play very well. Then you'll get San Diego for 3. That'll be a tough series, obviously. Seattle, LA, Texas, Arizona, LA. You're tough. You're like legitimately the only series that really are, I guess, important. Is you got San Diego for 3. Obviously, they won 2 of 3 in our ballpark earlier this year, so you'd like to sort of return the favor there. But the end of the series, you got Oakland for 3, and then you're home for Tampa Bay and Oakland. So those are your tough series. Everything else, Kansas City for 7 games coming up here. Of course, you got Seattle on the schedule quite a few times. You got Texas on the schedule a few more times. Arizona, you should really sweep that. And I get a little too far ahead of myself. You got LA again for a 4-game set. But yeah, as I look at the rest of the schedule this year, they really shouldn't have big issues. I was doing the math. Obviously, it was 70 wins. And they need 30 to get to 100. 47 losses, 57, 15, 30 and 15, I believe, get you to 30 and 15 will get you to exactly 100 wins, which I don't think's unfathomable. I think they can do that. But yeah, they can't have one of those lulls where they lose 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 or something. Like if they do that, they can't do it. So, but yeah, just trying to finish the year strong. Urquidy, no real word. He's a September guy that will, Urquidy's, I think, an important part of the rotation. He'd start a playoff game if you're asking me right now, if he was healthy, that is. But getting both him and Bregman back, the goal is to keep winning games, try to get that best record, but really be healthy with your full team come playoff time. I think the Astros will be as good as anybody to have a chance to win the pennant and win a World Series if that's the case. So, but yeah, we'll wrap things up there. 24 minutes almost here, so not a long podcast. Not a lot of games to talk about. Love to hear your comments in the section below. Obviously, like this video, share it with your friends, all that good stuff there is to do on YouTube there. And I'll talk to you in a week, next Sunday night. I can almost guarantee that, but we'll wait and see. But we'll see you then.